Smoking up bars.
Alright, we're here at the spoiler review for Megan 2. Now, where do we start?
So this is the spoiler review. We're going to talk about everything.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Oh,
How you going? I think, I guess we're starting with me because I just put my hand up.
Yeah, basically.
Hell yeah.
making groans and moans.
The intro, the start of the movie was I really liked it. Like, I was like already loving it straight away. I didn't want to like leave. I wanted to go and get popcorn, but I was just like, this is so cool, like that. And I think it sort of slowed down, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get popcorn.
Yeah, I felt like a lot of the creative thought or a lot of the effort went to the start of the film, because there was actually some unique kind of ideas and things there, and then it became a whole campy piece of crap. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, I think it was the same characters. And I think we'll get into this, but we'll get into this later. But a lot of them were very, what's the word, like campy, monotone, or they were just like very one-dimensional characters. I feel like the main character lady was like very, like, just like the first one, she was very stone-faced throughout the whole thing, and made some very, like, later on in the film, very dumb decisions when
Oh yeah,
it's like
just talk about him. I mean, we can just talk about it, whatever.
Full area, bro. Talk about him.
But well, yeah,
Yeah.
like Alison Williams, yeah, her performance, man, yeah, she was stone face. Some of her like monotone facial reactions didn't suit the vibe. Like when her daughter or niece was kidnapped, and they were having that whole monologue where she was just like taking her time and talking about their past and like their relationship from the past. I'm like, dude, you should be like panicking right now that some AI bloody crazy agencies kidnapped your niece. You should be like freak stressing out. But there was no stress. It's literally like she woke up, she had a shower, she went to the gym, and she did yoga, and she's like so relaxed.
she was more on edge, like at the beginning, like the second
Yes.
half, when like
But
yeah, when they were more safe and when the daughter was safe.
yeah.
Like it was just like,
Before
God damn it,
Megan was
Megan.
rebuilt, like she's been constantly casting shade on Megan throughout the whole beginning of the film. Like, we can't do this again. We can't let repeat ourselves. And now Megan is recreated. This thing that she's fearful of, concerned about. It's like she drops her guard at the same time as well, and allows this thing to become more conscious, to become more involved, and they even get like this stupid banter between the two of them. And I was just like, it's meant to be for funny and gags, but it's too self-aware of itself. And yeah, the fact that they have a whole sequence of her just having a bit of, a catch up with Megan, and then Megan's trying to be therapeutic to her, and then it breaks out into song.
Yeah, well,
It's-
isn't Megan's whole point is to like make sure that she's okay?
Yeah. Well,
But she-
that's what she was first designed to
Sorta,
do,
but
was like to
thanks.
sing and stuff.
Yeah, but it's meant
yeah.
to be more directed to Katie, not so much about, what was her name? Alison Williams' character? I can't remember.
I think it was
But,
Gemma or something.
It's forgettable.
Gemma.
Yeah.
But like, you haven't seen the first film, Josh, but Megan was basically going to paralyze Gemma and say like, now I'll have to take care of you, and therefore I will be with Katie for good. And that's my diabolical plan. I'm going to paralyze you from the neck down and all this stuff. It's like those moments of like, oh shit, okay. And she backs it up in the first film with violence. She kills people that are young. She kills people that are trying to get in the way of Katie and all that. There is a bit of serious intensity with the character. In this one, she's a freaking goofball. She makes quips and makes catchphrases and puns all the way through the first film, but it's done in a ways where it's like,
Hold on to your vaginas. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was cringe.
When it happens in the first film, it's okay. It's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's kind of scary because this thing is out to kill you, and it's still got this kind of set programming. Whereas in this one, it's dialed to 11. It's just way too much. It's all the time, and it's just like, ugh, I get exhausted just having to listen to it. And as you said, Alison Williams' performance, I swear to God, I think halfway through the film she wanted just to play a serial killer again, like she did in Get Out, because yeah, she's got some very weird, like you said, monotone expressions, very very lack of emotion a lot of times in that
Or
that
just dumb.
iconic little
She looked dumb.
open eye look that she does.
Yeah,
It's like, ugh,
with a
I just
slight
wanted to
smile.
become a crazy psycho again.
Well, yeah, what you said, she played really well in Get Out, and she did. Like, she's actually a good
She was
villain.
terrifying.
So it's just bad
She was more
casting.
terrifying than Megan. Yes, she should have been the villain. Bottom line.
Yeah.
But,
Keep going.
yeah, I'll express. Of course, every single male character in this film is also just played for laughs and shits and giggles. They're like either incompetent, they're either stupid, they're either the butt of the joke, or plot twist, they're the villain of the movie. It's just like there was not one reasonable male character in this film that's like, somewhere on the same level with the crew. They're just there to be feminine, they're there to be non-threatening, and they're there to be basically Scooby-Doo characters. Like the FBI agent who's supposed to be some form of like authority and tactical was like, I got this gun. The second he does this, in the most Magoo way possible, he loses it. It's just like, come on, really?
I kind of liked him. I thought, I don't know, he was just, I don't know, he was goofy.
I liked it too, but like, if they're gonna do that to him,
Yeah.
do it to everybody. You know what I mean? They basically put Will Ferrell in the film,
From
with everybody
Anchorman.
else. Pretty much, it was just like, oh, okay,
I'll-
this is happening.
I'll say this, with what you're saying, Mitch, like how those most of those characters are stupid. I felt like even the main characters, like Gemma, besides the kid, Katie, like I swear, like every character in this movie was fucking stupid.
Yeah. Well,
Fair
Like, you
enough that they're
can't-
stupid, but they are still leading the story. They're the ones that are
Yeah,
still
true.
making these decisions, and they're the ones that are still outsmarting the bad guys. You know what I mean? When it
And they're
comes to
kinda
the
just, like,
guys,
put in this light where
like,
they're
it-
like, oh, they're doing this because it's heroic, but they're actually dumb.
yeah, I mean, it's a stupid plot, but even still,
Yeah.
like, there was no scene where, I guess I'm kind of lying to myself. There's the one guy that's with the crew, but a good third of the film, he's a clumsy klutz. He gets knocked out, he gets thrown into a vent and all this stuff, and it's just like,
That was
come on, man.
That was like the best thing that happened to him. Like when he accidentally chloroformed himself, like, and then he found Katie. It's like, oh, he's actually helpful. Like he's actually doing something right and actually taking care of her. When in the next scene, when she catches up with Gemma the mother, the place is gonna blow down, and she's like, I'm coming with you. And she's like, okay.
oh yeah, that was disgusting.
But
That's a
again,
little-
it's a heroic decision. With
Yeah,
him
a little-
chloroform himself, it's just done for shits and giggles.
Mm.
Of course, he's the one that's stupid enough to gag himself with his own chloroform. It wouldn't have been Gemma or Katie or any other characters. It had to be him that does it. And it was just like, that was a reoccurring theme in the film. It was just like, oh, it's quite clear what they're trying to say. Especially when, like, the tagline is, hold on to your vaginas. It's just like...
Yeah, we'll get to that part of it. But yeah, what you just mentioned, Jared, was because they're supposed to be super intelligent, like the main two actors. They're super. They understand that the AI. They mentioned cloud. It's in a cloud system, which means it's everywhere. They're like, oh, we got to protect Megan, but Megan's everywhere. Like if that rope, if the body dies, Megan's still there. So I don't know why you're gonna put yourself in danger, and then your daughter's like, "I'll come in danger too." Okay, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And that's what Mitch was saying. It was kind of just put in the light, just like, but they're being heroic, and it's like, They're
that-
actually
it's
being opposite.
It's
They're
the dumbest.
actually
It's just
It's-
dumb.
It's supposed to be the character relationship moment where they have this arc, because at the beginning of the film, it's all about, no, you're not ready for this. I have to protect you, you know. But then it gets to this point where Katie is like, I want to help, and it's like she's already openly said, like, Katie's smarter than me, Katie's stronger than me. It's like, dude, you just said she's 12 years old, like great, you know, empowering figure. She's gonna become a great adult, but she's still a kid. Treat her like a kid, please. Put her like, just at least have like some kind of resistance to the idea. And then Katie
Yeah.
will say something like, you know, oh, Megan will only listen to me, or some crud, you know. Okay, validate Katie being in that scene to begin with, because she did not need to be in that scene at all. As we saw, Gemma obviously had the plan, because she created that, what do you call it, failsafe on Megan to activate it on the phone to kill her. That's the reason why Gemma went back in there, was to make sure that Megan and Amelia, the other robot, both basically died. Like, as we've seen throughout time in this movie, every time Katie wants to get involved, Gemma always puts the reins on it, like, no, you stay there, repeatedly. And then at the most dangerous moment in the film, where there's a ticking time bomb and two
Literally.
killer robots,
Yeah.
okay. Come on.
Yeah, I get it. Like, I get what they're trying to do there, but it was just written really dumbly.
It's so lazy, man. It's just cheap gags. And again, the movie, it knows this. Like, the writers and all that went to the script and going, oh, it doesn't matter how much effort we put into this. People are going to want to see it because of how successful the first one was. And, like, to me, it reminds me somewhat of, funny enough, the Scary Movie franchise. When the very first one came out, it was, like, fresh and original, and the jokes were cleverly written. And then the second one came out, and it was like, okay, yeah, it was still funny. Then the third one came out, and the quality just diminished. It was no longer clever comedy. It was just fart joke comedy all the way through it.
Yeah,
This
phoning
to
it
me
in.
is where this to me is where the Megan thing is going, except it hits wall much quicker than the Scary Movie franchise. And like, yeah, I'm kind of hoping they just stop it before it just gets too stupid. You know what I mean? But they probably won't, because regardless of how people feel about this, it'll probably still make bank. I don't know what the budget was on this thing, but obviously it would have been a bit more than the original. I can't imagine that they're going to get the exact same amount back in sales. But,
No.
yeah, man. It just... It's a film like you want to like it, because like you said, I was enjoying the first half of it, or the first quarter. I was enjoying the introduction of Amelia, because the actress that plays Ivana Starkov, she's got a real intense look about her. And I wanted to take that performance more seriously, but because she's in a movie surrounded by clowns, I can't take her performance seriously, because anything she does, it's kind of like 2018's Predator. Everyone's just making pussy jokes all the way through the film, so it's like, how can I take this villain threateningly serious when everyone else just doesn't seem to give a crap about the stakes involved?
Yeah, she was
So,
probably the
Just
best
have
part.
a little bit of...
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
I think
yeah.
she was. Sorry, man.
Her
like,
acting, yeah.
Yeah, she did a good job at like showcasing an upgraded version of Megan, like more human-like, but she still has this kind of stern look face where it's, and her movements are all still, you know, lateral and all that. She did a great job. She could have made a really good Terminator if it was like a good Terminator film.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, and respects to her, because she did a pretty good job in Ahsoka, the Star Wars show as well. So she still brought that same intensity and all that. So hopefully from this it doesn't kill her career. Hopefully she can still jump from this. Same as the rest of the cast, but when you're going into a script just shits and giggles, you know, expect the karma. It's like, a lot of people just say yes to the script. Fucking challenge it, question it. Tell them, why is this so stupid? Let's rewrite it. Let's make it a little bit more serious. Make it a little bit more mature. Because you can have a serious film that can still be funny. And 9 times out of 10, that trade-off works better. When you have a little less comedy, the funny jokes are much more impacting
Yeah, no, like you said, that's part of the movie. Like in the beginning, she was freaky. She was like intense. Her stone face, like she had a really good stone face, like an AI face that she did really, yeah, she had a really good like AI robot demeanor about her. She did really well. It's just unfortunate that there was 10 trillion plot holes. Like, oh, dude, talk about that plot hole in the end, where she finally goes up to the motherboard and she's like sucking up all its energy. She's turning into like Super Saiyan 6 Goku, and while she's like gaining the power of the universe, they're having this another monologue at the back. I don't know what I forgot what it was about, but it was like some sentimental bullshit. Like, anyway,
it's basically, yeah.
Yeah, and then Megan, you know, said, "Oh, I got one MacGuffin up my sleeve. I've got the EMP device." And so as the Allison, or whatever her name, the AI bad girl, whatever, as she as she transforms, she's like, "Oh, I can see the past, present, future." And then Megan just like jumps on her back, presses the EMP device, and kills both of them. Like, well, yeah, well, if you could tell the future, then you would have known that would have happened. So that was another.
Which Megan says as a dialogue line. So to me, it justifies how lazily written that scene was. They couldn't think of something more clever. They made themselves aware of it. Did you see this coming?
Yeah, did you see this coming? I mean, like, but then it just brings up questions. Like, it's supposed to turn you into God, so the whole point of the movie was just like destroyed there. You just like completely underpowered what it was supposed to do. Oh,
and there, I'll make this short so Jared can have a say. But to me, that whole plot device was so underlooked, man. Like whenever it was brought up in topic, it's like it's a black box. We don't know what it does. Okay, we find out what it does basically like the last third of the film. This is meant to be the main MacGuffin throughout your whole film. Like the whole movie is supposed to be leading to this moment, but because nothing is really centered around it, no one gives a shit. It's kind of like, if I'm going to use an example, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones. The whole film is centered around this chase to find the Ark of the Covenant, because apparently anyone who opens up this Ark inherits the power of a god. Alright, so Indiana Jones is in a race with other archaeologists and the Nazis to see who gets to it first, because it's a race of good and evil. Everything in that film, plot-wise, is centered around this device. So when they finally get to it and the power of this thing is revealed, it has a lot more weight and impact into it. This movie barely acknowledges what this plot MacGuffin is, so when the time comes for it to happen, I'm there going, what's happening? Wasn't this supposed to be a fight between two robots? And it was like, no, it's the god thing. Oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
The plotline is so convoluted at that point. There's too much exposition and shit thrown at you, and plot twists of the feminist pro-head, whatever you call it, laid-back boyfriend with no chemistry at all become the villain. Shocking. At that point, I just don't give a shit, man. It's just, ugh. Lazy.
Yeah, I feel like that. What I had to say. Yeah, mainly just like, especially what you were saying there, like the characters and what they were all talking about the whole time. Man, I just like lost my brain. But that's what I felt like watching this movie. Like, there was a lot of
Not in a good way.
Yeah. What was I getting at? I think this is the spoilers. Yeah, we're at spoiler movie. You can cut this part out. I'm brain farting.
This is the spoiler area.
The ending, like when the guy was sort of mentioning near the end of the film of like the whole point of why this was happening, the Amelia and everything controlling it. being like, what was his motive? He was using AI to kill people, so then everyone wouldn't rely on AI.
Unclear.
He said something like that. Like he was playing on both sides, like doing is like, oh, we got to get off the AI, so that's why I'm using the AI to kill people. And then
Yeah.
sort of Gemma's character's like, you can't do this. The same face. And he just be like, well, watch me do it. And he's got a stone face as well. I think what mainly killed me was this majority of the actors in this film. Like, I just couldn't stand them at all. And yeah, and call me dumb because I am dumb, but like it's sort of like one of
You're
those
dumb.
movies made by a dumb person for dumb people, but then saying like, "Oh, I'm actually really smart when you think about it. I'm actually really smart," and they're just making up shit on the spot. That's what it kind of felt like to me.
Yeah.
Or am I just dumb?
Like, I think a problem is, I think a lot of us are trying to compare it to, like, because the film is touching on AI in the modern era, and like, is it a good thing or a bad thing? That's the question of this film. We're forgetting that this movie does still fall into the realm of fantasy. Like, there's a whole sequence where it's like we need to rebuild Megan, and it feels like they did it within 12 hours in like a little freaking basement lab. Like that's not plausible.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that was hilarious, man.
you need the resources, you need like the testing grounds and everything. Like, it's just not like it's ridiculous. And the fact that there's a killer robot as well is testament to that. But in terms of it being an intelligent film, we are still in the land of fantasy where terms like hacking and all this stuff, it's like that's not really how hacking works. You know, I have an encryption file. We're gonna upload it within 20 seconds. I just happen to have the device for it. I have like normally you'd have to build that, and the data wrangling for stuff like that would take months, if not years. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
in terms of films such as this trying to tell itself that it's clever, impossible.
That was
It's
another thing as
they
well. Like, sorry, I feel like I'm rambling here, but with Megan, I think near the end of it, her body is sort of getting destroyed, like she's dead off. But then she sort of jumped at Gemma as like a distraction. She put like a little chip or put herself in the chip, and then that same chip they put onto Gemma, and then the villain woke her up and started doing the monologues and stuff like that. Then Megan was inside her. And then, but then Mega was still alive in her other body. And then when the place is gonna blow, it's like she already had the chip with her. So why not just like leave with the chip while it was still on her, knowing that it was Megan, if she cared about Megan that much? There's
unclear.
that was
And
yeah,
I'm
that's probably like a pointless thing to bring up, but that was just one of
no, it's
that
fair
was one of the
enough.
plot holes. I because you guys mentioned the ending with the "I'm God" sort of thing like that. I completely forgot about that. I think my brain was fried from that ending. So,
But
but
Jared,
yeah,
that's my point exactly. Like, it's a plot point in the film that's so barely acknowledged that by the time it comes to the climax of it, you don't give a shit or you don't even acknowledge it. You know what I mean? Because it's like watching a film about dinosaurs, but then all of a sudden the last third film is a UFO. It's like, where did this come from? Was this mentioned? It was? I can't remember. It's just, yeah.
Well,
But
yeah.
it's all good. I'm done.
This is the real question. Did you like it better or worse than 28 years later?
I disliked it a lot worse because at least 28 years later was original and trying to do something that hadn't been done before. It was trying to take the franchise and as well just the scope of cinema in a certain direction. To me, it didn't work and it fell extremely flat. This movie, to me, Megan was not daring at all. It was just paint by numbers. They thought they had an easy cash win with a, you know, iconic villain character turned good, what do you want to call it, and it's fallen on their butt, in my opinion, really fast, really quickly. So no, I did not like Megan at all. I didn't. I liked it a lot less than 28 Years Later.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even know why I brought up that example.
No, that's good idea. That's a good example because 28 Years Later is a theme like on zombies and infection, which has been done millions of times, and I felt like the Megan. There's a few. There's like a few movies a bit like Megan, like with robots and AI taking over. There's actually a few. What I liked about the first one, it kind of it cut yeah, and I said this in the other review was that it reminded me of what they were trying to do with the remake of Child's Play. Which I kind of liked because it was more realistic. Because I think in the first one, the whole idea of Megan was like this, you talk to it, it's friends with children, sort of stuff like that. When the remake of Child's Play, the Chucky doll, to an average kid or a teenager, would just be like, that thing is disgusting. Get that thing away from, like, red hair and stuff like that. When the Megan doll is sort of like, oh, it's cool, it can sing, it can dance, sort of thing like that. When 28
It's like a
years,
sex toy.
yeah, 28 years later, they did, like, had ideas, and like it was a bit more daring, I'd say, and like and yeah, like of a theme that's been done a million times. When this really felt like, yeah, like before, it's taking sort of the same idea from the Terminator, but it really just, what we were saying before, all the plot holes, it fell flat on itself. Like the whole time, it just kept on. Like those characters, like, this is my motive, and then like 2 seconds later, it's like my motive's changed for no reason. Like, just like sometimes like Gemma would, like, the main character who's just like, oh, I gotta stop this. Like there's parts of the movie where she is smart, like where she is strategic, somewhat like that, but then she's very dumb at majority of the film like that. It's just
Yeah,
yeah,
dumb smart.
dumb smart.
Yeah, and that's what you call bad writing, ladies and gentlemen.
Rating time?
Rating time, yes. So I'll start first. I will give this movie a 4 out of 10.
I think I'm gonna copy you like I always do, Josh. Yeah, like it was like either between 3 or a 4. I'm just sort of glad it wasn't like headbuttingly boring, or yeah, I'm just like it did keep me entertained. Like I would say that there were some scenes that were like, oh, like visually pleasing, or just like the intro of the whole movie, the whole beginning of it was very good. It was stupid, but like I was like, I'm enjoying this. This is really fun. I'm glad I'm watching this. But yeah, I think like around a 4, more like a 3, 4 of, yeah, 4. I feel like 4 is kind of fair.
4. And Mitch? 3. Oh, mate.
3. It's lazy, it's mundane, unoriginal, and the only reason why I'm giving it 3 is because it was being self-aware of itself that it was stupid and lazy and mundane and unoriginal. That's not a compliment at all. The fact that they knew not to take the film seriously, or at least try, means that they knew they didn't have anything really good for this film. So at least they went that far with it. Yeah, in saying that, for me, Amelia was the best thing about the film, and I hope that this movie doesn't kill her career. Simple as that.
Oh, Amelia and Flight of the Conchords guy. I feel like he
Main Clement,
really,
yep.
because he was at the beginning of the film, and I was like, oh my god, this. I think like, yeah, I think that was one of the star ratings, was thanks to him, because he is just hilarious like that. It's
Yeah.
And when you said before how like the characters are just fucking stupid, one-dimensional, and I think we mentioned before, I think it was like the intro when the FBI tried raiding Gemma's house for no reason. And they were just like, "Oh, we just want to talk."
Yeah,
That
unprofessional.
Why didn't you do that to begin with? Yes,
The-
I know. There's so many plot threads, man. I know.
um
I think I would have enjoyed the film better if Jermaine Clement end up being the villain at the end with the plot twist instead of having the bloody non-chemistry boyfriend where everyone's saying,
no
you
personality,
don't
like
match,
fucking
no personality whatsoever. It was like, oh, it's a team effort. I would have enjoyed the film a lot better if Jermaine just stayed in the entire film and he ended up being the villain at the end.
That's why I
Because if
liked
you're
it,
gonna be
because I thought he,
stupid,
I thought he kind of was
yeah.
gonna be. It was like
Because if you're gonna be that
yeah.
stupid, you might as well have a stupid villain. Not someone who thinks they're clever but they're not. Just have this weird tycoon billionaire romanticizer bumbling his way throughout the whole film. Yeah, I got this idea to kill AI. What do you think about it, huh? Just yeah.
Yeah,
But even then, it wouldn't have saved the film.
I like where they're going. Like Allison, she's trying to like stop. She doesn't want like bio whatever you call it, biograde people and stuff, and he does. So it's like she wants to kind of stop AI. He wants to like progress further with it. So it's like two opposing forces, and I like that in the beginning where they have that. He comes into the room when they're like doing the thing, and then they butt heads for a while there. I thought that was pretty funny. It was funny, and it was kind of good the way they did it. Like
It was setting up plot philosophies. Like, yeah,
yeah,
truly. I just wish they followed through with it.
and then they just like shit itself and became a goofy crap movie that didn't follow through on any interesting
Yeah.
ways. You just went like
Like-
kind of the boring way.
Like, do you remember when Megan suggested to Gemma, you should dress like a Portuguese prostitute to draw the attention of Jermaine's character?
Yeah,
Because that went absolutely nowhere. There was at the end of that whole sequence, there was no reason for her to be dressed up that way. It went absolutely nowhere. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, Emily was there, but I was just like, why would you introduce that just to get the actress in a freaking cocktail dress? You know what I mean? What was the significance of that? To show her being a badass in a cocktail dress? I don't. Just one of many little unintelligent scenarios that just went absolutely nowhere.
Yeah. Well, this review is going nowhere. No, I'm kidding. But it's pretty.
That's true.
It's getting there, boys, ladies. All right, that's the end of the review. Hit that subscribe button, and I'm gonna go watch Megan 2 for the 10th time.
Hold
My
on to your
favorite film.
vaginas.
This movie was sexist. Bye.